Hi guys, I'm making spaghetti today. And I told my husband I thought that I had already videoed myself making spaghetti. His response was, "You can't get too much of a good thing." So I'm going to show you my spaghetti again. And it's never the same twice. First I'm going to put my pan. This is a big pan. I think it is probably 12 quarts. Because I don't make spaghetti for today. I make spaghetti for 6 months. I freeze it. 3 to 6 months anyway. It's pretty safe to freeze in your freezer for 3 to 6 months. If you have a big heavy-duty freezer, you can do it for a couple years. I used to sell appliances, so maybe you didn't know that your self-defrosting freezer has wires going on the sides of it, and it actually puts a little bit of heat in your freezer different times of the month to defrost the sides so you don't have all that ice. In the old days, my mother used to have to take everything out, and with a pickaxe or whatever, she picked all that ice out. And you don't have to do that anymore, but it's not too good on your food. So don't ever plan on freezing anything more than 3 to 6 months. All right, this is getting warm. The first thing I'm going to put in there is a couple onions, chopped up. I did all this so you didn't have to watch me and have you bored. And I went to, I usually buy all my vegetables and meats at Publix. But I'm going to tell you, this week Publix was really scary. 3 pounds of ground chuck, which I usually buy, was like, was that $34, Phil? Yeah, $34 for 3 pounds. And I use about 4 to 6 pounds. So I went to a grocery store last night, and it was one of those where it's cost plus 10, and I bought a couple T-bone steaks yesterday. Now the T-bone steaks were about $34 to $36 for one T-bone at Publix. They were like about $9 for a whole T-bone. They looked pretty nice. However, when I cooked it, it was okay. What did you think of that last night, Phil? Did you like your T-bone last night? He didn't especially like it, but he really doesn't like meat that much. Maybe I'll bring you a little closer. Is that better? Okay, I'm frying this onion. Now I'll get my meat ready. Ground chuck family pack. And like I said, this isn't Publix, but I think for meatloaf and spaghetti sauce and things like that, I think that you can go with a little lesser quality because you put in so much goodness in there. All right, so this is 2.35 pounds. I've got my pot on high. I don't have it on ultra high yet, but I kind of like the onions to fry with the meat. And depending on the fat content, ground chuck shouldn't have a whole lot of fat in it. That's why I don't get hamburger. Hamburger actually has a little bit better flavor because of the fat, but it cooks up to be nothing, so I usually get ground chuck. I don't like ground round or ground sirloin because it doesn't have as much flavor. The flavor is actually in the fat. Here's another ground chuck family pack. This is 2.45 pounds. So that's, like I said, I usually use 3 to 6 pounds. And I'm trying not to make as much as I usually do. For the mere fact that I've lost a lot of weight and I don't have the appetite I did. And we do give a lot of this away to family members. My son comes over and he always leaves with a frozen pack of spaghetti sauce. And he lives in an RV. He had a beautiful house, but he's one of these modern day guys, I guess. He lives in an RV. He can drive it around. He changes places. Got an engine. It's pretty big, but so is he. I mean, he's 6'4". I had a lady online ask me the other day how tall my kids were because I told him that my husband was 6'6", 6'7", whatever. Yeah, I think he lost an inch. And I said, well, they're tall, but he's not their father. Their father was 6 feet, but he was the shortest one. His mother had 7 boys. And she had 2 that were 6'8". My husband's got his father was over 7 feet tall. Just so you can see what's going on here. A lot of meat in there. Well, I'm going to let it get brown before I put anything else in there. And what I was saying before is I like to take some of the fat out. And I don't want to take too much of the fat out because there's good flavor in that fat. So I'm going to put this on hold. I don't need my glasses, they're getting steamed up anyway. So, still mixing this up. When all the pink's gone, I'll start putting in the veggies, which I've got them all chopped up. And I totally believe that you just put in what you have in the house. And so I've got cans of tomatoes, cans of tomato sauce, tomato paste. I put real tomatoes in it. I mean, fresh tomatoes when I have them. Unfortunately, my tomatoes didn't do well this year. I do have 8 tomatoes out there on the vine right now, but I think we got a total of about 8 tomatoes that we could eat. They were very good. It was just such a dry year. Okay, here's how it's coming along. And that's pretty heavy. That's probably about 5 pounds of meat. I'm going to put in some garlic. Sometimes I use fresh garlic, but I pretty much like this stuff in the can. And I'm putting a good amount. It's not Italian if it doesn't have garlic. All right. Then I have a whole head of celery. And I get a little flack from my kids that celery adds so much. Another thing that adds a lot is carrots, and I'm not big on carrots. Just eating carrots. I like raw carrots. Put them in dip. But I think they do really good cooking with them. Here's my... And I just mix that up. I don't think you can get anything better than spaghetti. And I live in a little town in Alabama, And I'm from the north. Chicago, Detroit, Syracuse. I mean, every town has a lot of Italian and a lot of Asian restaurants. Down here, all we have is Mexican, and we do have some Asian. No Italian. I can't even get pizza in town. We had a Pizza Hut. I love Pizza Hut. It went under. It was supposed to come back, and then they changed their mind. All right, now I'll show you. That's mixed up pretty good. I've still got it up on high. All right, this is red, yellow, orange, and green bell peppers. Bell peppers are really important in this. They provide the sweetness against the tangy. And I think I've got 7 peppers. Now that's getting pretty full. I haven't even put the tomatoes in yet. We're just going to cook this after I get it all browned. I just cover the pot. Well, I kind of leave it half and half because I don't want it to be all juice. But I let it cook all day. And sometimes during the day I'll get a piece of bread and put some spaghetti sauce on it. And it's good. Oh, look how good that's looking. That's kind of dark in here. Maybe I could put it under there. I'm going to get you up closer in a little bit. All right, now I'm going to put in my spices. Which are right behind you. And I have oregano and have Italian. And onion and garlic. And I put a little paprika in it. And some thyme. I got thyme. I don't think I'll need any celery salt because I've got a whole lot of celery in there. And always salt and pepper. I'm just going to put all that in. That was Italian seasoning. Worcestershire. You got to remember, there's probably 6, 8, probably 16, at least 16 servings here. I'll put in a little bit of soy sauce. And I put in a little bit of Louisiana Bowl. Not too much, because I like to put hot peppers in it. I put hot red peppers in it. Well, not too many, but we gotta have it spicy. And I put in parsley. I don't need much garlic since I've got garlic in there. That's garlic salt. Little onion salt. I went easy on the onions this time. I only put 2 big ones in. I usually put more than that. little oregano. I don't need to put too much of anything because that Italian had everything in it. Paprika. Paprika. Rosemary and thyme. Mix her all up. She sounds happy. She's a burgling and a gurgling. I can tip it so you can see. I've still got her on high. I'm about to start turning her down. Smells good. Some of you don't know that when you have tomatoes, you need to cut the acid with a little sugar. So I put not too much. Anytime I make a meal that has a lot of tomato in it, I'll put a little bit of sugar in it. Some people put chocolate. I know my younger son cooks a lot and he likes to make spaghetti sauce. He puts a little chocolate in it. It was different. I liked it. But I don't do that. That's his thing. Alright, I'm going to turn it down to medium low. Here's a can of petite diced tomatoes. Here's a can of crushed tomatoes. Try not to waste. Waste not, want not. Hunt's tomato sauce, just because I had it in the cabinet. And it's not much, but tomato paste, because you want this to be kind of thick. You don't want runny spaghetti sauce. And you want it to be tomatoey. My grandson likes white sauce. I'm not a fan of white sauce. But each to his own. I'm just old-fashioned and I like what I like. There's no changing me at 80. And then here's another tomato paste. This is just about got it. Mix her all up. Now it's going to look very choppy and crunchy. After it cooks, it'll cook down. But it's not going to be like canned sauce that's nothing in it. It's going to be more like a chunky. I like to have vegetables in my food. I like to see them. I don't put anything off the wall in it. And then as it goes along, you're going to taste it and just adjust, because that's the best tester you have is you. You know if it needs a little salt, it's got too much salt, put a little water. Just taste it during the day. Make your adjustments. I'll bring you over here to look at this. Hope it doesn't fall in. And that's my cooking for the day. I do comb my hair, but I don't curl it too much, so this is what I am. Bye, guys. Love you.